Welcome to this video lesson on digital animation. We'll explore key topics and build your technical vocabulary in English, essential for project presentations, reading manuals, and working with international companies. Let's get started. Part 1. Generating visual effects. When we generate visual effects, we create special additions to our animation that enhance the story. This process follows the storyboard, which is a visual plan of our animation, and uses specific technical procedures within animation software. Technical vocabulary, visual effects, VFX, special effects added to imagery, often created digitally. Storyboard, a sequence of drawings typically with some directions and dialogue representing the shots planned for a movie, television show, or other visual product. Technical procedures, the specific steps and methods used within software to achieve a result. This can involve using nodes, layers, parameters, and algorithms. Nodes, individual processing units in a visual effects software that perform specific tasks, connected to create a workflow. Layers, separate levels in an image or animation that can be edited independently. Parameters, adjustable values within software that control the properties of an effect or element. Algorithms, a set of rules or steps followed to solve a problem or perform a calculation, often used to generate effects. Rendering, the process of generating a final image or sequence of images from 2D or 3D data. Example for project presentation. For this scene, we generated visual effects such as a glowing aura using a node-based system and adjusted the parameters for intensity and color. This followed the action described in the storyboard and utilized specific technical procedures within the software. Part 2. Animating the elements. Animating the elements means making the still images or objects appear to move. This process is guided by the storyboard and the fundamental principles of animation, which ensure the movement is realistic and engaging. Technical vocabulary, animate, to bring to life or make move. Keyframe, a point in the animation timeline that defines the starting or ending point of a smooth transition. Tweening, in-betweening, the process of generating intermediate frames between two keyframes to create the illusion of motion. Timeline, the visual representation of the animation's duration, showing frames and keyframes in chronological order. Frame rate, the number of frames displayed per second, FPS, which affects the smoothness of the animation. Principles of animation, fundamental guidelines developed by Disney animators such as squash and stretch, anticipation, staging, follow-through and overlapping action, arcs, secondary action, timing, exaggeration, solid drawing, and appeal. Example for reading manuals. The manual explains that adjusting the keyframes on the timeline will affect the tweening and overall speed of the animation. Ensure the frame rate is set to 24 FPS for smooth playback. Part 3. Preparing characters and elements. Preparing the characters and elements involves creating and organizing all the necessary assets for the animation project. This includes character design, creating props, and ensuring everything is structured according to the project's specific needs. Technical vocabulary, assets. The individual elements used in an animation project, such as characters, backgrounds, and props. Character design, the process of creating the visual appearance and personality of a character. Props, objects that characters interact with or that are part of the scene. File management, the process of organizing and storing digital files efficiently. Naming conventions, standardized rules for naming files and layers to maintain organization. Import, to bring external files, for example images, audio, into the animation software. Export, to save the project or specific assets in a format suitable for use outside the animation software. Example for carrying out work. Before starting animation, we need to prepare the characters and elements. This involves finalizing the character design, creating all necessary props, and ensuring proper file management with clear naming conventions. Part 4. Developing the rigging. Developing the rigging is the process of creating a digital skeleton and controls for a character or object, allowing animators to move and pose it easily. This development follows technical criteria to ensure proper functionality and meets the specific needs of the project, such as the required range of motion. Technical vocabulary, rigging, the process of creating a skeletal structure, bones, and control system for a 2D or 3D model to facilitate animation. Bones, joints, digital representations of bones in a character's skeleton around which movement pivots. Controls, user-friendly handles or manipulators that animators use to move and pose the rigged character. Inverse kinematics, IK, a rigging technique where moving an end effector, for example a hand, automatically calculates the necessary rotations in the connected joints, for example wrist, elbow, shoulder. Forward kinematics, FK, a rigging technique where rotating a parent joint affects all its child joints. For example, rotating the shoulder moves the elbow and wrist. Hierarchy, the parent-child relationship between bones in a rig defining how movement is propagated. Constraints, limitations applied to bones or controls to restrict their movement within realistic or desired ranges. Skinning, weighting, the process of attaching the character's geometry, skin, to the underlying skeleton, defining how the skin deforms with bone movement. Example for reading manuals. The character rig utilizes inverse kinematics for the legs and arms, allowing for intuitive posing of the extremities. The manual details the hierarchy of the bones and the constraints applied to prevent unrealistic movements. Proper skinning ensures smooth deformation of the character's mesh. This concludes our lesson on essential digital animation topics and their technical vocabulary in English. By understanding these terms, you'll be better equipped for project presentations, comprehending technical manuals, and confidently collaborating with international teams. Keep practicing and exploring the exciting world of digital animation.